What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Um, this edition of Soap Buzz, very interesting things happening in the soap world today. Before I get into the breaking news, the big news, let me do something called Actor Roundup. And this is titled, What Was Your Last Day Job Before You Became a Soap Star? So this is chronicling what the soap actor's job was before they got into their respective show. So starting off with Daniel Hall. For those who don't know who Daniel Hall is, he plays Scott Granger on The Young and the Restless. He's the son of Lauren Fenmore. So Daniel Hall was a bartender before he got his gig on The Young and the Restless. And when he did get his gig on The Young and the Restless, he still kept his bartending job because he said you never know what can happen. He didn't know how long he was going to be on the show. And, I respect it and I definitely understand it. You know what I mean? You never know how long a gig is going to last, especially when you're an actor. So, it was smart of him to keep his job, until now. I'm sure he quit. He's been on the show a little while. So I'm sure he quit. Um, Chloe Lanier. So for those who don't know who Chloe Lanier is or Lanier, however you pronounce it, I don't like butchering people's name. Um, she plays Nell on General Hospital. So you all know Nell. Um, so apparently she was working at a burger joint before she got her General Hospital job. And when she got the GH job, she quit the burger joint. I would have too. I mean, come on. You got a job on like one of the biggest soap operas. Of course you're gonna fucking quit. And it's a contract role. Of course you're gonna quit. Come on now. I don't blame her for that. Next up is Christopher Sean, who plays Paul on Days of Our Lives. So for those who are not familiar with Paul, he's dating Sunny Kiriakis, and he's the son of John Black. So before he became Paul on Days of Our Lives, he too was a bartender at a club in West Hollywood. He was really good at it too. A lot of people I think were waitresses and bartenders before they got soap gigs personally. And of course Robert Palmer Watkins, who played Dylan Quartermain on General Hospital, he said that his main job for 4 years was he was a valet at a condo complex, and he also worked at a movie theater, and he did random catering jobs and bartending jobs. So he did a lot of pickup work to pay the bills before he got to GH. Bartending, valet, catering, that's a lot. So big ups to him. You could tell how strong his work ethic is to do all those different jobs. And I like that though, because I like people who are jacks of all trades. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. Pearson Fold, or Folde, however you pronounce it. Um, he actually raised cows before he became Thomas Forrester on The Bold and the Beautiful. He raised cows. That's interesting. That's an interesting job. Raising cows and stuff like that. That's interesting. And he also worked as an assistant to a producer, um, which is cool. And he also got approached about being an instructor for a Soul Cycle. It's like a cycling class. So that's interesting, actually. That's pretty interesting. Raising cows, wow, that's an interesting job. So everybody's favorite, Wally Kurth, who plays Justin on Days of Our Lives, and he also currently plays Ned Quartermain on General Hospital. So he worked as a busboy on Saturday nights at a Cajun restaurant. It's like a Cajun Creole restaurant. And during the week, he worked at a production house, which is pretty cool. His boss, he said, his old boss, when he was at the production house, actually let him take a little time off, you know what I mean, from work, let him leave early so he could go to auditions and stuff. That's pretty cool. It's interesting to hear all these jobs they did. Laura Allen, who plays Juliet on The Young and the Restless. So right before she got her Young and the Restless job as Juliet, she was actually helping out her uncle at his law office. So apparently her uncle is a lawyer. She helped him out, which is pretty cool. And everybody's favorite, my boy, my favorite soap actor, one of my favorite soap actors, Don DeMont, who plays none other than Bill Spencer on The Bold and the Beautiful. Dollar Bill. That's what I call him, Dollar Bill. That's my boy. Um, he was a trainer um, before he became an actor. Then after that, you know, he was a trainer, and then he was a model. So when he fell into modeling, then he became an actor, and basically after modeling is when he said he stopped having a real job. um, but man, I could never say acting is not a real job, man. They poured their heart and soul into that gig, and I know it's hard. Um, so now moving on to comings and goings. A lot of comings and goings, a couple. Starting off with Days of Our Lives, James Lastavic, who plays Joey Johnson on Days of Our Lives. He plays Steve and Kayla Johnson's son. So he's leaving the show. He tweeted and said that, it was an honor working with Mary Beth Evans and Stephen Nichols. And, he learned a lot from them. You know, it sucks that, he had to leave. But I mean, for me, I never really felt he was the best person for the Joey character. I do wish him best in all his future acting endeavors. Um, he was pretty solid, but I felt like he could have, you know, opened up a little bit more to the character. But he was pretty good, and I wish him the best. In other news, Rome Flynn. This was shocking to me when I first heard this like 20 minutes ago. Rome Flynn, who plays Zende Forrester on The Bold and the Beautiful, who's actually Eric Forster's adopted grandson, is leaving the show after being on the show for 2 years. He was on the show from 2015. Um, it was totally his choice to leave the show. I know some people said B&B fired him, but that's not true. It was his choice. He said it in an Instagram live post that he was leaving the show, and it was totally his choice to leave. I kind of see where he's coming from and why he wanted to leave, mainly because, when you've been doing a show for a couple of years, especially in soap operas, you want to do different things. You want to kind of spread your wings and you want to go fly and do other things. Like you want to do prime time, you want to do movies. I get it. And Rome Flynn actually booked a gig on the Haves and the Have Nots, which is a very popular show on the OWN network, Oprah Winfrey Network. So if you haven't seen the Haves and the Have Nots, check it out. Tyler Perry's The Haves and the Have Nots, Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock, OWN network. I'm happy for him, man. He booked a really good gig with that show. It's a very popular show, and I understand where Rome Flynn is coming from. Some people might say he's crazy for leaving a show that's internationally known, and he is in a front burner storyline. So, but sometimes you don't want to get complacent, and you want to do different things. So, congratulations to him on all his success and future success, and I definitely will be checking for him on the Haves and Have Nots. Um, the biggest news to hit right now. This is one of the biggest. Some people might not think it's huge news, but trust, for me, it's huge news. Robert Palmer Watkins was terminated from General Hospital. That's the word going around. And apparently he was fired and he didn't even know. He felt, rumor has it, he was blindsided. He felt, a source said that he felt blindsided by the termination. Um, and I definitely understand where he's coming from because I'm pretty sure he didn't see it coming. Because as far as I remember, he was actually filming a movie called Last 3 Days, and he actually asked the powers that be over at ABC General Hospital could he take some time off to film the movie, and they were cool with it. They were like, "Yeah, go take the time and go film the movie." And now comes this termination, and I could see how he would feel blindsided by that. And I think totally it's messed up. I feel like it's jacked up. Robert Palmer Watkins is a good character. I mean, he's a good actor. He's done a great job, a phenomenal job at playing Dylan Quartermain. Um, he's an all around cool dude. I heard a lot of cool things about him. Fans have said that they met him at a Florida fan event in Florida. They said he was a really cool guy. I follow him on Snapchat, and from what I see, he's a great dude. Cool guy, pretty chill, laid back. I think it sucks that they fired him like that. I think it sucks. I could think of a lot of people on that show, and I hate to see people lose their job, but I could think of a lot of people they could get rid of. He was not one of them that should have got rid of, that they fired. He should have not been fired. Um, I think it's messed up. You know, we get to lose a yet another Quartermain. You know, it was jacked up that we lost Jane Elliott, but that was her decision, and I still respect her decision. You know, she worked on the show for almost 40 years, so she deserves a break. But to get rid of Robert, I felt was jacked up, and it was more messed up in the way that they did it that kind of pissed me off. Because here he's thinking he has a secure job, and he goes to do a movie, and he finds out I'm fired. No real reason, just you're fired. I feel like that's pretty messed up. I really don't like that. And you want to know what's funny about all the three people I mentioned today that's leaving their respective soap operas? All of them have been on their shows since 2015. Robert Palmer Watkins has been on GH since 2015. Rome Flynn has been on B&B since 2015. And James Lastavic, who plays Joey Johnson, he's been on Days since 2015. I felt like that was like ironic. All three of them are leaving their shows, and they all were on their shows during the same time frame. So that's crazy. And they're all leaving around the same time frame. Some leaving by choice and others leaving by force. And you know, I wish Robert the best in all his future acting endeavors. I think he's going to do really well. I think he is. I think he's going to do great in the acting world. I'm pretty sure, you know, this opens him up to new opportunities, and you know I can't wait to see what's to come with his career next. You know, with new movies he's coming out. Like I said, he has a new movie he's currently filming called The Last 3 Days. So if you want to follow him, check him out on Twitter, Robert P. Watkins, Instagram, Snapchat, just to find out what he's up to next. I'm pretty sure he's got some great projects coming up. Um, so yeah, man, it's a lot going on. I was like pissed about that. I was pissed about a couple of them leaving their shows. I think it's jacked up personally. I don't like what GH is doing with their show, personally speaking. Storyline wise, casting wise, I don't know. It's like a fucking dumpster fire at that place. I don't know. But anyway, I hope all you have a wonderful night. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night. I'm out. Peace.